All right. Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday morning. Doing another Living Freestyle Game Dev AMA live stream. Fortunately, COVID has released its deathly grip on me, and I remember today is Wednesday. So again, for those of you that missed it, apologize for last Wednesday. Didn't have any idea. Like I said, my name's Kevin. We do this twice a week, Sunday evenings and Wednesday mornings, to try to cover the time zones. I'm fortunate enough to work professionally in games all the time, but there's a lot of cool stuff that exists out there that I don't get to work on at the day job. So if we don't have questions, if there's nothing really kind of going on in the chats or anything like that, then what we do to fill the time is we have my own game that we're working on. And right now the dog is in full effect and has chosen this spot to use her very loud squeaker. So good job, Fuzz. Anyways, I'm gonna go back through some of the old, let me just double check to make sure we didn't have any questions. From our last stream. Seriously, dog. What are you doing? All right. Looks like we are clear on questions and comments. So we're gonna go back into what we were working on before. And where we left off is we'd finally cut bait, and we decided that we were going to try to re-implement everything that we were building inside a Lyra project. Inside a Lyra project instead, or kind of build things the Lyra way. And oh my goodness, it is a lot to get your head wrapped around. So right now we're just trying to go through the baby steps, step by step. Can we get a map to load? Can we load into our map? Can we, see if we can get back to parity where we were, where we can start bringing in our own AI and stuff like that. So let's hop straight into that. We need our Unreal project, and I did have a chance to do a bunch of stuff, watched a bunch of videos on this to try to get some learnings around it. Let's talk about a bunch of the pitfalls that I found. A lot of it has to do with the game features. Okay, these new content plugins basically that Unreal has put out there. Now, when you set these up over here in our plugins, we created our Hortonworks, which is just our working name right now. One of the things that goes in this folder is this Hortonworks content plugin, and right now you can see it's active. Now there's a couple things that I've learned. When you make changes in here, you want to switch this to registered, make your changes, and then reactivate. I believe I was restarting Unreal each time to get that stuff to unload, because otherwise the stuff wouldn't show up. There is a bunch of stuff where when we were trying to load our maps into the Lyra definitions and things like that, experience definitions, they didn't even show up in the list. It was so frustrating. And so what was happening was, if we created the map in an already existing Lyra folder, our map showed up fine. But when we tried to create a map within our plugin, which we should totally be able to do, our game feature, I'm going to call it a game feature from now on just for clarity, but I'm really talking about a plugin great game feature when I do that. We should be able to have a map in our game feature as well. Well, it turns out there's a bunch of directories that had to get listed inside of this game feature data in order for a lot of this stuff to show up. So I'm basically stumbling through right now, trying to make sure all of the directories and game data is everything set up so that our Lyra facing experiences and everything are actually being registered properly, so that over here in our system experiences, what I was finally able to do was I was able to, nope, not that one. Playlists. loading screen, combat gym. Now I was able to get the combat gym to actually show up in this playlist, as well as the Lyra experience definition. Now, which one is this pointing to? This is pointing to the all content one. Interesting. All right, but what that has done is that allows my combat gym to show up, and so now when I play this level, you'll notice that we have a lot of stuff here actually. We got exploder, control, default, front end, combat gem, and elimination and control. So it's interesting. It looks like control is in here twice. There's one that says shooter gem. Oh, and one that says convolution. Okay, so actually it's two different things. Now the other thing that had happened was I wasn't none of these screen tiles were showing up properly. And that was because the let's see here. I think it's called a teleporter. This guy, this teleporter. This teleporter sets the color experience, sets the user facing. Where is it? Where is it? Create the hosting requirements. It's this widget. Here we go. There's a W experience tile widget, but I believe in here I needed to change the bounds. I did. Only some of the tiles were showing up, and there was that classic bound scale issue. So I went back and fixed the bound scale here. And then that made it so that all of my tiles actually showed up so that I could actually read them. Now, because Combat Gym is now showing up, get ripped, if I go in here, you know, and I created my own little snapshot and uploaded it and everything like that. If I go in here, also difference between green and blue is default experiences versus not. Anyways, if I go into Combat Gym, look at that. We load into our map. That's pretty cool. Now, this is where we start getting into game features being pretty powerful and flexible. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot to wrap your head around just to get yourself into a map, but theoretically, now that we're there, I believe if we get rid of our search, our combat gym, shooter core, Lyra player state, I don't think that's the one I'm looking for, playlists, combat gym. Okay, so if we switch this from default experience to, let's do elimination. Now when we load in, it's going to be the combat gym, theoretically. But instead, it's actually a shooter now. So we were able to basically change out everything about how this level is going to be simply by changing the experience definition. Which is kind of cool because that means I can use the same map for capture the flag, I can use the same map for elimination, I can do all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of, you know, where you start, like once you start implementing this stuff, I think that's kind of what they're going for from a flexibility standpoint. I think from a development and prototyping thing, that's pretty cool too. What I'm curious is, do I actually have my own experience definition yet? It looks like top down, test inventory, shooter game control points. These are all B Lyra experience blueprints. And they inherit from Lyra experience definitions. Can we do a search for all Lyra experience definitions? Lyra experience. Definition. Nada. Is that something I can do in my filters? Blueprints. Blueprint class. Lyra. Oh, this is just in the name. Alright, well that's not very useful. Okay, so let's just get rid of, yeah, we can keep that on. Okay, so in the Lyra example content, nope, it's not going to be there. In the top down, under system experiences, there's a top down experience. Okay, so that's the Lyra experience definition. And then do we have one? Combat gym. This is a Lyra experience definition. Interesting, and it's in experiences. But when we looked in, this is where this is where I was talking about having problems with these plugins. So here's the gym. Why isn't combat gym showing up here? Because we've got a thing with the plugin and the facing and stuff. So let's see if we can fix this. So we go to registered. Here's a Lyra experience definition. But it's like this, it's like it's not seeing this path. So let's just see if we pick it specifically. It's so weird to me that there's got to be a way to use relative paths here. I don't know. System experiences. Okay. And then go to active. Okay. Save that. And then in combat gym, front end game shooter. I don't see it. So just to be safe, I'm going to save this and I'm going to restart. So the other thing I noticed is there is now an exception that's thrown in one of these game feature policies the first time I run it, which is weird. It usually hits right around 83%. Mounting the plugin, shooter gain, shooter core. I'm trying to watch this very hawkishly to make sure I don't miss what it prints. I'm gonna hopefully try to figure out where the exception is coming from. Loading, verifying metadata. There it is. It just hit it. See, I don't know why it's hitting this. I'm gonna have to figure out but the hotfix manager, it just says it's triggered a breakpoint. It doesn't really help me a whole lot. But if I just play through it, it loads fine. Let's see what happens. What did it print? Yeah, that's absolutely useless. Okay, cool. That's fine. We'll work with that later. For now, let's just keep going with where we were. All right, so now, do we have the ability to see? No, not this one. In our Horde Wars, we don't need this generated maps, experiences, combat gym. Okay, so that's the combat gym. Here's our playlist. See, this is what I'm talking about. I can't find the combat gym, and I don't know why. All right, so the Lyra default experiences exist in game systems, shooter core experiences, control points. So that's showing just fine. So what's not special about ours? So if we look at the shooter or plugin, it's a Lyra experience definition, directories, experiences, system experiences. Okay, Lyra experience definition. Wait a minute. Lyra experience definition. This is in the asset manager. Asset manager. Asset base class. asset base class, Lyra experience definition. Our base class is wrong here. This is why. Lyra experience definition. System experiences. I wonder if we can go with relative paths now. Should we try it? Let's see what they're doing in core. System experiences and experiences. They got 2. We're just gonna try that. And then base class world. Okay, that's fine. I'm just making sure we didn't break our maps by accident. Okay, so theoretically that's there. So if we activate the plugin and we come back to combat gem, default experience, top down, nope, nada. See if we reopen though. Nope. Alright, Hortonworks content, go back to registered. And the directories, let's add, just for kicks, a specific explicit path. Okay, save that, activate it. Deactivate the feature before editing the game feature. Roger that. Experiences. We'll add one more. Just to cover our bases. Okay, and let's activate the plugin. Let's come back here. Combat gem. This list does not look any longer. This is literally what I spent all of my time doing between the last time you saw me not, is trying to figure out what these directory mappings need to be to do something simple like load a map. Supposedly, after you create a few of these game features, it starts to sink in and you start to get your head wrapped around it. Obviously, it hasn't sunk in yet for me. This is our first one, but it's loading. 83%. We're gonna hit our breakpoint again. Our exception. The interesting thing is, oh wait, did it hit it that time? Oh, it didn't hit it that time. See, it's weird. It's weird when it chooses to do that. Okay. Moment of truth. There it is. Oh my god. Okay, so all that, I still had to restart. I didn't think you were supposed to have to restart to get those plugins, but for some reason the folder, it just didn't show up. I don't know if clicking register is not actually unloading, reloading, or it's not refreshing, or what. But now we can use the combat gem BP, and the reason we're doing that is because it's self-contained. And so what does the combat gem do? The experience definition. It's thinking. Shooter core. Shooter data, shooter game. Shared input center, clone center, HUD, shooter act loads. We're adding the abilities. Ability set elimination. So, theoretically, when we load in now, I think, wait, I need to look at whether or not we're actually loading. Okay, so we're loading elimination. That's for sure. So loud, y'all probably can't hear me. All right, but let's test this. Theoretically, we should be using hours now. And so as a result of that, if we come to the combat gem, and what other ability sets are there? Let's just get rid of the elimination set. I'm curious what is even in this. Auto respawn and show leaderboard. Interesting. So if we get rid of that, we should not auto respawn. Lyra player state, ability list. Let's just trash it. Okay. Compile and save. Now when we load in, theoretically, I can still move. Wait, I'm not dead. Alright, I died. Oh, it's not respawning. See, there's no spawn, there's no respawn counter. Okay, so we are using the one that we think we're using, which is cool. So let's see what hero data shooter game is. Ability set shooter hero, tag relationship shooter hero, and input data hero. Pawn class is our hero shooter mannequin. Interesting. And our camera is third person. Wow, everything is modular. I mean, literally everything is modular. Oh my goodness. Okay, so hero data shooter game. Should we make our own hero data? Where does this live? This lives in shooter core content game. Sure, let's do it. Let's make our own hero data and see if we can't modify this a little bit. So we need a game folder. The interesting thing is, are we gonna have to go through this directory fun again? Alright, so we need a game folder. Because I don't believe we have one. Nope, we don't. Game. And then let's just copy the hero data over from here. Hero data shooter. We're going to move this to here. And we're going to rename this to hero data Horde Wars. We probably want to be more specific. Let's do Horde War Shooter. Okay. Let's see if that is even an option in our combat gem. Hero data. Horde War Shooter. Thank God we don't have to do the directory fun. Why does my stream look awfully black? Hold on a second. Let me check something with the stream. Nope, it's not black. Alright, that's good. Because it's not like I've ever just streamed nothing before for like 30 minutes. Awesome. Good job, me. Alright, okay, so we can have our hero data Horde War Shooter now. Should be exactly the same, because we haven't actually changed anything. If we look at that though, what could we change to make this unique? How about we change our mannequin? So the input data is going to be how we control it, I'm guessing. Just out of curiosity. Native input. AI move, lock mouse, look stick, crouch, auto run. Wow. So much modularity. Let's move, axis 2D vector. There's a dead zone on the modifiers. That's wild. Okay. Wait, where were we? Combat gem. Compile and save. Okay, so one thing I'm gonna do to shortcut this is right now, every time I'm testing, I'm pressing play, and I'm coming over here to combat gem, and I'm walking through. At this point, we know that works. All right, so I'd like to streamline my testing a little bit here. So let's just load the combat gem. By default, I believe we can do this now. If we go maps and we load our combat gem. Now, if I just play, it just starts. Now, the trick is you have to look at the world settings and look at what the default gameplay experience is. All right, and the reason for that is much like when you load through those teleporting portals over here on the right, I can choose which one it is, and I want to make sure that it is actually our combat gem, so that it is using the stuff I expect it to use. So back to our combat data, we had our Hortonworks shooter, and then we're looking at this deal, and we were thinking we could change our mannequin. Maybe. Let's see what we're using here. Right now we're using shooter core content, this shooter mannequin, which I'm sure is going to be modular. Probably open this and there's nothing there. Yeah, there's nothing here. It's just a capsule. All right, let's see if we can figure out what's happening in here. All right, so this is our valid animation set. Create or update outline. Okay, that's for our outline. Event begin play. We're setting the actor hidden. Is pawn ready to initialize? Show pawn again next frame. Show pawn again next frame. Set actor hidden in game. False. That's great. So far we have no idea how this mesh is getting set, because by default, oh, it's the invisible Manny. And the invisible Manny, okay. All right. So the invisible Manny, I'm guessing, is just basically just the bones, effectively. Yeah. Okay. So that's the skeleton. My guess would be there's like a single triangle or something in here somewhere. It's hard to know. Okay. So we have Invisible Manny. Here's a question. When does Invisible Manny not become visible? So we have Quinn and we have Manny. So we have Quinn invisible too. Manny log settings. See if the reference viewer will help us find this. Holy smokes, dude. These are all animations. These are body. Post process. Cosmetics. These are all poses. 21 other nodes using Manny. Alright, so somewhere in this hero mannequin, we have to figure out where our skeleton is being set up. Alright, so we have a pistol as our initial inventory. Okay. Well, let's see here. In order to do this, there's a couple things that might be happening. We might equipped weapon. We might. So what I was gonna say was, of the things that might be happening is we might be equipping the character visual as like almost like a copy post from mesh type thing. Pawn cosmetics component. Ooh. Pawn cosmetics. Lyra pawn component character parts. Oh, it's code. Okay. I can't imagine that's the only way this works though. So there must be something somewhere that's loading this. Browse, where's this? Melee emote dash. Are we even loading this? Native class, Lyra character. Why did we think that we were loading this? Hero, hero, because it's right here. Ability set, shooter hero, input data hero. Oh, that's the input config, and that's the camera. So it has to be this one. So we think we're definitely using this one. And if that's the case, we should absolutely be hitting this construction script, which we are. So that's definitely what we're hitting. Now, we link an animation class, and then on team or cosmetics change. Let's see here. Show pawn again next frame. On pawn ready to initialize. Event possessed. Add initial inventory. Okay, clear the inventory. That's all about hiding the actor till it's initialized. On character parts change. Okay. Listen for team, set actor hidden. Alright, so theoretically. Targets Lyra team display asset. What the heck is it? Alright. Not helpful. Not helpful, Unreal. Not helpful. Apply to actor. Team display asset. For each component, new mesh component, apply to mesh component, apply to Niagara component. What does apply to mesh component do? Apply to mesh component, it takes the scalar parameters and sets it, color parameters and sets them, gets the materials. Interesting. Okay, so this is all about changing the colors. I don't think that's actually loading our stuff. I swear I saw this in here somewhere. Oh. Class defaults. Initial inventory items. Death montages. pawn. Replication. There's 0 in the meshes. Excellent. Invisible Manny, we know this. Thanks, that doesn't help us. Character movement, pawn extension component. Lyra hero. Lyra content, health component, pawn cosmetics component. Body meshes. Oh my gosh, here we go. Mesh rules. Okay, finally. And this also is not clear. Okay, so somewhere in here, inside of our pawn cosmetics component, we are doing something with these mesh rules. So we just need to find out what it is. So the pawn cosmetics component, can we edit that? Open the full blueprint editor. There's nothing in the event graph. Lyra pawn character parts. Ah, pain in the butt. It's in code. Okay. This is the .h file. Character parts. Let's see if we can find that CPP. Here we go. Lyra character parts. Okay, what I want to know is in the character parts. What do we have here? There's a character parts list and a body meshes. Okay, so what does it do with body meshes? Broadcast changed. Okay, so what happens is when there's a broadcast changed, it gets the parent mesh component, it gets the combined tags, select body style based on the merge tags. The mesh component sets the desired mesh with a reinit pose. And if there's a physics asset, it sets the physics asset and then it broadcasts it. Okay, so oh wow, this whole thing is tagged. Oh my goodness. All of this just to get the visuals to show up. I mean, I know this is going to be robust and powerful theoretically, but what a bunch of hoops to jump through. What a bunch of hoops to jump through. Alright, these are mannequin pawn cosmetics. And this was set on our hero mannequin. Okay. Well, theoretically, now that we know how that works, we shouldn't have to worry about it. We should just be able to set it. The reason, though, that we want to think about it is future us might want to be able to swap these in and out for other things. Okay, well, wait. Theoretically, we should get some amount of masculine. Okay, so right now I'm masculine, and I have a feminine on my team. And their team looks like it's both, so let's go again. This time I'm feminine, and he's masculine. Okay. I start feminine. Is there ever a time when we're both feminine? Oh yeah, we were both feminine on that one. Let's go back to our respawn, because I'm curious. For no, combat gym. Hortonworks shooter. I want to bring back the respawn. Ability set shooter hero, and that's the mannequin, so that's not it. Experiences. Where was that? I'm blanking on where that was. So if we take shooter core content and we look at shooter core, this is the experience definitions. So that should be in the experiences. And shooter game elimination. Shooter input, HUD, ability set elimination. And this is in the shooter game elimination. Ability sets. Granted ability sets. Abilities. Granted ability set. Elimination. Okay, so theoretically, we should have our respawn back. I will protect you. I don't see it. I thought that was in ability set elimination. Auto respawn should be there. Oh. Wait a sec. Combat gym. Compile. Wait a minute, didn't like that. There was an error during compile. See the log. Oh, interesting. Oh, the actor class is not set. What is this? Lyra player state. Lyra player state file. And now, okay, I'm feminine. This dude is masculine. We both died, but respawning, that's good. Do I come back as... I came back as feminine. What are they? They're both. They're one masculine, one feminine. Okay, I'm always coming back as feminine right now. So once I'm set, I think it stays set. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Does it stay set? If I escape though, and I start again, now I'm masculine. And that dude is feminine. Okay. So, okay. I don't think we're gonna get all the way to the point where we're spawning our meshes, but at least we know where this is happening now. The other interesting thing though is about these mesh rules. How does it choose which one? And is there, it feels like there's a chance for me to get, wait, are we both masculine now? Yes, we are. Okay, that makes me feel better. Because I didn't see anything in the code that would prohibit it from both being feminine or both masculine or so on. So, alright, we're both masculine. We are one and one. Where'd this dude go? Can't see you. Ah, that was feminine. Can I get both feminine? Masculine and feminine. That's feminine. Yeah, we're both feminine. Okay, cool. So it's random. It is random, I think. Because it's basically taking these body meshes. There's two array elements here. I would like to find where it's using these. It looks like it's select best body style. I'm looking at the code right now. So this is where it broadcasts the change. And basically what it does is it comes in here and gets the parent mesh. And then it gets the tags. And then it selects the body style with the merge tag. Where's this defined? What is body meshes? That must be in the .h file. F Lyra anim body style selection set. Oh goody. Go to definition. This is in Lyra cosmetic animation types. Lyra cosmetic animation types. Select best body style. Da-da-da. It goes through the mesh rules. If the mesh rules not a null pointer and cosmetic tags has all, it returns that mesh. Oh, interesting. Okay. So basically, if it has a body style medium, it's going to use the Quinn. What's interesting is these are all in vises. Oh god, just getting your skeletal mesh to show up is so frustrating, man. Okay. So this is the hero shooter mannequin. Okay. And it has an invisible mesh as its input. Right? That's the Manny invisible mesh. And then in our pawn cosmetics, it has also Manny invisible and Quinn invisible. And it has the default. So Manny invisible and Quinn invisible. So at what point does it, where is this referenced? Gotta be somewhere. Otherwise, how's it know? Does this thing have tags on it or something? No, I've never seen tags on anything like this. LODs, LOD info, sections, build settings. Bounds, input, skin weights, ray tracing, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Reference viewer. It's used everywhere, of course. Character Quinn. Wait, what kind is this? Lyra tagged actor. Oh, interesting. Mesh component. Quinn. Where are the tags? There's no tags there. This is supposed to be a Lyra tagged actor. I would like to know where the tagging happens. So this is the copy mode. Alright, so that's fine. I know how that's working now. Because they were kind enough to put that in here. Instruction script. Wow. Oh, look at this. Pick random character. What is this? Here's our chance. Manny or Quinn. Okay. Oh, let's just change this to Manny. So does this bit change it so we are only ever Manny? I'm Manny. That might be Manny. It's hard to tell. Looks like Manny's. Looks like all Manny's there. Manny. Manny. Okay, everybody's Manny. Alright, I think we found it. Holy smokes, dude. Let's look at Quinn. Be Quinn. See if we can force us all to be Quinn. Definitely Quinns. Okay. Whew, we found it. Alright, so this is basically where we are choosing whether or not. Now this is happening inside of pick random character. And this is a blueprint. And so Lyra controller component character parts. Oh, are you kidding me? Lyra component. I wonder if there's a feature that's adding this. Okay. Here's my guess. I believe probably what's happening is one of the game features, which are the plugins, is adding this pick pair character parts to all characters within the game. So that's my guess. But unfortunately, we're out of time and I have to end a little bit early today. So I think next time probably what we're going to do is we're going to go through, actually, yeah, next time we're going to go through and we're going to try to track down where that is, where that's happening, so we can figure out how this is happening. I don't think ultimately our game is going to work like this because we want the players to be able to choose these things. But we are making progress even though it's slow. Just as a quick heads up, Sunday's session is going to be pre-recorded. I am probably going to be out of pocket for a bit. So Sunday will be pre-recorded, but that's what we're going to go into. We're going to go into trying to track down the where the actual component's being added. And the big bummer about that is not having you all around to help me stumble through this stuff is a bummer, but either way, we want to be consistent with our times as much as possible. So if you're watching this after the fact, thanks for checking it out. As always, if you have questions, throw them down in the comments below or throw them in the chat for the next time. I will try to monitor the chat if I can. Everybody have a great rest of your week. Sweet, later.